to meet with teachers and ask them some questions. Again, thank you so much for coming tonight. We're trying to do this, and we're also trying to record it, and we plan on posting it, which I want to make sure that my recorder is working. And I think it is, and we're good. We are also going to be sending these slides home through Classroom or through Dojo, so that you have it, you can look at it, because it might be a little bit difficult to read tonight. We wanted to come up to the cafeteria and change things up a little bit, because we weren't sure about how many people we were going to have, and just the turnout, and certainly being able to distance as well. So to get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Todd Reiner. I am the new principal at Slatington Elementary School. Just to give you a little background about me, academically, I went to East Stroudsburg University, originally from Tamaqua. I actually am very much like you. I am a parent inside the school district. My children attend daycare. My daughter is going to be going to kindergarten next year. In terms of administration, I'm going into my 10th year. I spent time prior to this in both the East Penn School District and as an assistant principal, and then the Pleasant Valley School District as a principal of their intermediate school, which was a 4x6 building, which is very similar to this. So happy to be here, so happy to be serving the community that I live in, and being able to work with your kids every single day. On the way in, you may have seen her in the main office, is our school counselor. Her name is Mrs. Sue Mengel. If you haven't had the opportunity to meet her yet or work with her, she's absolutely wonderful. She works with our students for coping skills, working on conflict resolution, she works with them individually or works with them in groups. And then if you have any questions for her or would like to talk with her more, she will be down in the main office most of the night, but she can certainly be reached by email or by phone call at any time. So if you're not aware already, we operate on a school-wide positive behavior support system. We have a token economy system that essentially, when students are positively behaving, we try to reward them with what we call them Bulldog Bucks. As they get their Bulldog Bucks, they can visit our school store and they can purchase certain things, or they can do certain things inside their classrooms, which our 4th grade staff will, I'm sure we'll talk to you a little bit more about. But I did want to mention that we have that, and ultimately we are working towards our 4 expectations. Oftentimes, if we're in a large group, especially in the cafeteria, I might raise my 4 fingers. And what I'm doing to students is I'm trying to communicate to them that we want them to be responsible, respectful, safe, and proud. If you hear them talking about that, we talk about it a lot. Being responsible, respectful, safe, and proud as our expectations, whether they're in the cafeteria, whether it's in the hallway, whether it's in the restroom, on the bus. We go through what that actually looks like to them so that they understand or may understand exactly what that means to them. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit maybe more about that, but I did want to highlight that in my part of the presentation. Another thing I just want to highlight is our health office. If you're not aware of this already, medications, if your son or daughter have any type of medication that needs to be handed in, please contact the health office. In our student handbook, which is posted online, there's information about what actually has to be done with that medication, but please don't send it with your son or daughter on the bus. It needs to be dropped off, and some paperwork needs to be filled out so that we know what they need, when they need it, how much they need, all of that. Also, we do health screenings. We do vision, hearing, height, weight throughout the year. So You may have your son or daughter come home, say that they were pulled out of class, or they were working with the nurse to do health screening. That's what they're talking about. Chromebooks. So every student received a Chromebook in the probably the first day of school. And those Chromebooks are brand new this year. They have a nice case that was also issued to them. We talked a lot in length about being responsible, respectful, safe with their Chromebook, and being proud of that Chromebook, that they were provided that device, certainly by the school district, but certainly for them to use, and taking pride in that. So we had a long conversation, I did with every single class regarding that. The only thing that we're really asking, we do want them to bring them back and forth to school. And the reason for that is, unfortunately, we live in a world of COVID-19, and we don't know when we're going to close. And even last week, we had a remnants of a hurricane, and who knows if we were going to end up having to close because of power being out and all of that. So, we asked them to bring them back and forth to school so that they're prepared that if something were to happen, they have a device at home. Now, some of you may have already had devices for them, and I completely understand that. And some may not have had those devices. But the only thing that we do ask when they bring them back is that they come fully charged. I said to every student as I went through to every class, it's the same thing I do with my laptop every night. Before I go to bed, I plug it in, I go to bed, I wake up, and it's charged. And then I pack it up. So I talked to them about creating a routine with it. And just like brushing your teeth, create a routine so that they don't forget. If you weren't aware, we are a Title I school, and what that means is that we receive some federal funding based on some data with our school, and we can use and provide a lot of resources for our students with that funding. The reason I kind of highlight this is it's very important. Right now we are in a situation where the lunches and breakfasts are free. They're free for everybody. But if you are a family that qualifies for a free or reduced lunch, we still need you to fill out the paperwork. It's free for everybody, we understand that, but that paperwork is kind of the data that supports us being a Title I school, and we receive a lot of funding for that Title I purpose. So if you haven't done so already or need help doing that, please contact our food service department, and they can help you fill out the paperwork. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but it certainly benefits all of our students by doing that. We do continue to plan on having family engagement meetings. I will be hosting them along with Mr. Schneiderwright from Peters. I believe our first one is going to be the beginning of October. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. However, we would have them virtually, and if you attended them last year, there was a lot of different ideas that were brought up. And some of those ideas and suggestions are actually in play this year because of what was said last year. So, we will bring a topic to that meeting every month, and some of those topics I've highlighted on this slide, but we'll talk through the specifics around that topic, and we can discuss the good, the bad, the ugly, and how we can kind of come together on making whatever that topic is better for everybody. One last shout out too is we have a bunch of people visiting us tonight out here, so if you get a chance once we are finished here to go out and see them. We have Knowlton Treatment Center that is here. We also have our Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts that are here, and up on the slide we have our PTO. And if you have the opportunity to get involved with the PTO, they are an outstanding group of people that are doing a lot of things for our families, for our students. This past Friday we had an ice cream social that they put together, and we have our biggest fundraiser coming out very shortly, which is our booster-thon. So if you have the moment tonight, stop by the PTO table and certainly get involved. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the stars of our evening, our fourth grade staff. Where are you starting? Oh, you're coming to get it? Okay, so let me introduce you. So over on the end, we have Miss Caitlin Hugo. Next to her, we have Miss Amy Zeiser. Next to her, we have Miss Sarah Fink. Next to her, we have Miss Lori Medal. And next to her, we have Miss Carly Benders. So who's starting? Good. Okay, so turn it over to them.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is math. So for math, we ask that the students check the Google Classroom and their emails on a daily basis. All assignments for math will be posted in their Google Classroom. We do use the program Eureka Math, so they will have modules, and all their work will be done in the module, which is in their binders. The problem sets in the module and their homework. We also use an online program called Learn, which just reinforces the lesson that is taught during class. I'm going to say that Learn is a very important tool for the students to use on a daily basis because it reinforces the lesson as well. And then we do this year are using Imagine Learning, which is a program that is adapted to their level, which will strengthen their math skills along the way. Some digital platforms that we use for math is Learn. The kids love to go on Prodigy and practice math facts, Extra Math, and then Edulastic. Students will need on a daily basis a 1.5-inch binder, which will have their modules in it, a notebook, pencils, and then their expo markers. So they each have interactive whiteboards in their modules that they can use as like scrap paper and then just erase so they can work out their problems. So what a typical math class will look like is we will do guided and independent practice with the teacher in class. So we'll teach the lesson to the students. They will be asked to complete independent problems on their own. And then after every lesson, there is an exit ticket. Those exit tickets will be graded. Okay? That will be done paper pencil. So you can look for those in your child's blue folder pretty much like 4 nights a week. Okay? Whenever we finish a lesson, the next day after we go over their homework, they will get their exit tickets complete in class. And then like I said, we do use Learn, which
is that all of our stuff is assigned and shared to our Google Classroom, where all of the kids in third grade did all of their work in Wonder. All of the worksheets, they did them in Wonder. We're doing it a little bit different, where it's much quicker for them to access it. They get instant feedback, and they don't have to click on 7 different things to get there. Very frustrating. Parents, if we're gonna be JoJoing this out to you, Mrs. DeVillio did a really nice tutorial for you. If you click on that link when you get this PowerPoint, that'll really help some of you help your kids at home, if they are struggling a little.
thank you, fourth grade teachers. The fourth grade teachers will be going back to their classrooms, so if you have specific questions or would like to talk with them further, you can do so there. We are also asking you to sign a sheet when you go and visit them in their classroom. That is just for our record keeping because we are a Title I program, or Title I school, and we need to keep a record of all of our in-person family engagement events. So thank you so much for coming. Certainly I will be around for questions. If you have questions specifically for me, I will be here getting ready for our next presentation. But fourth grade teachers will be in their classrooms momentarily. Thank you so much.